75% of those who give presentations say that they would like to be better at presenting. Carmen Gallo states in her article, New Survey, 70% say presentation skills are critical for career success. Have you ever felt like you were trapped in a bubble and couldn't get out? Just imagine how these people feel. Fear of public speaking comes in all different forms, causing the hardest part of a speech to be giving it to the audience. I care about this topic because I myself face struggles when it comes to giving a presentation. The past few speeches we have made, writing them wasn't that hard. My goal is to challenge you to understand that everyone has different strengths and weaknesses. Long night practices, countless study hours, and breathing exercises are what helps people push through to presenting their speeches. Many people practice for hours on end trying to get over the fear of giving a speech, although they start to face fear and anxiety, making the speech process that much harder on themselves. On the other hand, people could say that this practice is enough. Some believe it is nearly impossible to overcome the fear of speaking in public and lose sleep over it, or avoid any roles of public speaking opportunities because they are overcome with anxiety, Brianna Booker states. While practicing, set up a phone or have a friend hold it and record yourself. That way, when you're done, you can go back and see how you did. Carmen Gallo states, by watching your presentation, you will instantly catch distracting habits, such as fidgeting, averting eye contact, and flipping your hair. The more time you put into practicing, the better it will be for memorization and even presentation. Gallo also states that there's no magic involved in delivering a great presentation, but if you rehearse efficiently, your audience will be mesmerized. The key thing that you have to do when working on presenting a speech is memorization. The more you practice and say your speech, the better memory of it will come. Use repetition to firmly lodge information in your memory. Repetition techniques can include things like flashcards, using the simple tips in this section, and self-testing, Oakley B says. Presenting a speech can be very hard for people. Sometimes even the extreme amount of practice does not help. For those people, the thought of public speaking can be paralyzing. Studying and guidance from others can be very helpful when it comes to working on a speech. When practicing a speech, if you ask a family member to help guide you or even listen to your speech, it can help with giving you guidance and bettering your places if you mess up. Fear grows in different forms. However, the more guidance and help you have, the easier overcoming it will be. What is the number one fear that paralyzes people? Fear of public speaking, but there is hope. This fear can be overcome. Overcoming your fear of public speaking. No matter how bad the fear gets, if you take deep breaths, it will help calm you. It is also a good idea to have a memory or even someone who calms you down in your head in case you start to freak out. You can just think of them. Take 2 or more deep breaths, slow breaths, before you get up to the podium and during your speech. If audience members do notice that you're nervous, they may root for you and want your presentation to be a success. This right here would help this girl here on this slide. Craig Swanchuk states, more often or not, if a person is getting ready to present a speech, they have some sort of fear rush over them before they start their speech. This quote states that for some people, their fear of public speaking is more serious than their fear of dying. Did you know that there are people in this world who would rather die, play with a snake, have a spider crawl across their hand, than speak in public? However, if you are presenting your speech and you happen to lose track, it's okay to take a pause. That is not only for you, but for your audience as well, so they can comprehend everything that you have already said. Craig Swanchuk states that if you lose track of what you're saying or start to feel nervous and your mind goes blank, it may seem like you've been silent for eternity. In reality, it's probably only a few seconds. For some people, fear and anxiety is what makes giving a speech hard. However, instead of focusing on these 2 attributes, they should focus on their successes. Everyone focuses on the negative that comes from presenting a speech. although they never think about how well they did after they gave the speech. The constant nights of practicing and memorizing, weeks leading up to the speech, and the time it took to write it has now come to an end because the speech was given. However, do you repay yourself from the stress and fear? After your speech and presentation, give yourself a pat on the back. Swanchuck states, now that it is over, it is time to truly watch yourself back and be able to overcome the mistakes you made in front of people. That way, when you present a speech again, you can fix those mess-ups. Look at any mistakes you made as an opportunity to improve your skills, Swanchuck says. When delivering and developing a speech, you must make sure that the topic you are on and you're getting your point across. With that being said, if you grab the audience's attention, then you have done just that. Greg Grander says, it's to make your listeners better somehow having understanding and listening to you, so that their time and presence at this event was well worth it. Make sure the audience takes something away from the speech, can help calm the nerves of the presenter. But look and listen for ways audience members are telling you they got what you said from what you were talking about. There's no mistake an audience member is on that wavelength. Practice can make perfect. Fear and anxiety doesn't always have to take over. And always remember that successes come from anything you put your mind to. I am asking you in the future to be more understanding and patient with those who are suffering from fear and anxiety when it comes to public speaking.